Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful October morning here in the Georgia Piedmont. We've still got really low water levels due to the just complete lack of rain we've had over the last couple months, but we have had a few showers that I'm hoping will have saturated the soil enough that we have some baby turtles hatching. When we have extended periods of drought in the fall, they can get entombed in their nest. So I'm hoping that the little bit of rain we've had over the past week or so will hopefully allow some of these baby turtles to hatch from the nest, and maybe we'll be able to find them today. The water's pretty clear, but the glare is terrible today. Check this guy out, though. This is a really cool looking loggerhead. Big, mature adult. Look at that. Great turtle to start the day. That is fantastic. What a beast. Talk about an overbite. Look at him. Or her. I think that's going to be a her. Beautiful. That's going to be our defining characteristic for this one. Broken off part of the upper jaw there in case we recapture it in the future. But got some vouchers. We'll just return her to the water. So my strategy this morning is to just kind of walk slowly along the edge of the creek and hope I see something that resembles an acorn scooting along the bottom. And if I find one, hopefully I will get to show it to you guys. That's a leaf. We shall see. It finally happened. Look at this. The glare is pretty terrible. But right here, we have a hatchling loggerhead. Hey, come here. Look at that. So cute. And ridiculous that that's even like a live animal. It's so tiny. We're still coming up on what I consider to be the best stretch of this creek for baby turtles, so hopefully there will be more to come, but I am just happy to finally see a baby turtle this year, because with how dry it's been, these guys are way behind when we normally expect to see them, and so unbelievably tiny. We'll let this guy go and hopefully find some of his siblings. All right, back to the creek, bud. Is he just like, oh, there he goes. I thought he was about to eat something. All right, we have moved on from our first baby turtle. If we're lucky, we may be able to spot a soft shell or one of the snapping turtles in their hatchling size class. But we will see. It hasn't been a super turtley day so far. Here's an adult loggerhead. See if we can get him before he sees us and runs. He's got an acorn mouth. I can see it underwater. Look at him. Maybe not acorn mouth. He's just a little dark. This guy's got a weird club tail where something like bit off the tip. Very nice looking dark loggerhead. His face is almost melanistic looking. I see you there, bud. Come here. Very nice. They're so beautiful. I just never get tired of finding these guys. One of my favorite turtles. Man, we are in the turtles. Oh, come here, brother. Is that the one I just caught? Just further? No, this one's got a notch on his shell there. The one I just caught didn't. Nice. That is a big unit. That might be the biggest loggerhead I've ever seen. Oh my goodness. Hello. Oh my goodness. This pool right here is usually good for one. I don't see any more though. Probably because this one's big enough to eat any of the others. That is insane. Look, he's got is that a crushed acorn in his mouth? Her mouth, more than likely. Yep, that's a she. You been eating acorns? God, what a beast this is. Probably a pretty old turtle, but definitely well fed. And you can see that little bit of what I'm assuming is acorn in the mouth. A lot of these things will switch diet. A lot of turtles in general will switch diet to eat more vegetation, more acorns, more nuts, more fruit that falls into the creek in the fall. Very pretty sunfish just flopping around in the shallows for some reason. I don't know what's up with this guy, but we'll put him in some deeper water. Oh, he's fine. I guess he just got stuck there. There's another big loggerhead right there, eating stuff off the bottom. Well, that's a thing of beauty. Nice big red Nerodia sitting out perfectly exposed on this rock. I hope it's okay. It is in a pretty popular area. It looks like it's just hanging out though. I think it's fine. I always worry whenever I see a Nerodia this exposed. Oh yeah, there he goes. So this little area right here is usually good for baby turtles this time of year. I don't see any babies, but I do see a big adult loggerhead hiding under a single leaf right here. Hello. Another really big one. One of the bigger ones we've seen today, and almost as big as they come. There's another big one right here. Look at this. Hey, come here. Goodness gracious. So many units today. Look at the upturned snout on this thing. Holy cow. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Did you guys see him? There he is. Oh man, he's so colorful. Compared to the last one, it's very dark. This one is just neon. This one's even fresher. Holy cow. So here's this one, and look right here. This is exactly what I was hoping would happen today. Probably siblings. Let's see if we can find any more right here. This has been a hot spot in the past. Okay, this is getting out of hand. There's 2 more right there. Let's see if we can get them. Maybe even more than 2. Holy crap. They look so much like leaves. Look at this. 1, 2. What on earth? This is absurd. Look right here. Well, I canvassed this area pretty well and I wasn't able to find any more, but 5 within a few feet of each other is pretty crazy. Oh, getting a little restless here, but very, very cool. I was kind of bummed out that we hadn't seen more baby turtles, and then finally we get into this little pocket, which coincidentally is exactly where I've had this exact same thing happen before in previous years. It's one of the perks of getting to know places intimately well. You start to notice patterns and things like this, and you can replicate these kinds of observations. So long as the population remains intact, people don't poach them. You can see when they're wet, they're actually quite variable, even straight out of the egg like this. That one's actually got a little bit of a wound on him already, where something tried to get him. Well, this was a very cool thing to see today. We're just going to return them to this little pool right here, right next to where I caught all of them within a few feet. And you'll get to see them. Let's flip this guy back over. Oh yeah, I don't know if I've showed you their bellies yet, but that's what they look like. Nice and bright orange. Flip him back over, and we'll let them kind of disperse on their own accord here. There he goes. This one on the front there, I think, is the prettiest. That was the first one I caught. Go on, dudes. You can see they kind of have personalities too, like these 2 are the most shy. There they go. All right, I am definitely thinking about changing strategies here in a second and going to look for snakes since we finally got into a nice little pocket of baby turtles. I'm gonna try a little bit longer and see if we can luck up and come across some babies of different species, but I am a happy camper. Well, we were overdue for our token in-hand giant Nerodia of the day. This guy is definitely a little bit bigger and prettier than that first one we lost, I think. What a beast. What a beautiful snake. Nerodia are just so underrated. And now that they have evidently declined quite a bit in a lot of places, I see so few of them, especially big healthy adults like this. Whenever I do, it's just a treat. And it is a real shame that that's how it goes sometimes, where you have to actually start to lose something before you really appreciate it for what it is. Just a stunner. And also, you know, classic Nerodia. Got me on both hands. What a beautiful animal, though. All right, beautiful. We will let you go. That thing is just absurd. And I bet she's gonna look, I'm gonna let her go back up here. I actually found her. She was basking on this island. There you go, beautiful. Back to your island. It's kind of weird. Instead of fleeing into the water, she actually was kind of basking on this and then did that exact thing that she just did there, where she went deeper into the vegetation, and that's why I was able to actually catch her. All right, on that note, I am going to go try to find some cottonmouths. It's been a very good creek walk. I could do this all day, but I only have a limited amount of time before it gets dark, and I want to try to take full advantage of it. The little hatchling fence lizard. These guys have been everywhere over the last few weeks. This guy's pretty bold. He lives apparently right next to this pretty busy trail. Stands to reason. I wish I had a bug to offer this guy right now, because I'm pretty confident he would take it out of my hands. Look at him. So curious. Well, that's a bit surprising. I think this is the first time I have ever bike cruised a box turtle here, and it's a stunner. A little bit muddy, but just a beautiful adult male. He was acting like he wasn't going to be very shy. You can see this guy's covered in mud. He just clearly came out of the swamp, and he's heading up towards a busy 4-lane highway. There's a little bit of a green belt here though, so hopefully he won't have any issues, but it does make me a little bit nervous. Beautiful, beautiful turtle, and really not a very common species around here anymore, at least in this particular area. There's still plenty of places where they are common, but here I might see a couple each year if I'm lucky. Look at that foot. That is a stunner. Nice big adult male. We'll get him out of the path. Continue on. Pretty quick first herp on the path today. Hopefully there will be more to come. My brother in Christ, it is dry as a mug out here. What are you doing? There's got to be a snake out right now. It feels fantastic. There's box turtles and worms crossing the path. Hopefully it's only a matter of time. Well, I was right. Admittedly, I'm a bit surprised there's a full-grown adult cottonmouth crossing the path this early in the year. Hey, buddy. Nope, 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 nope. Wow, okay. Well, I'm admittedly a little bit surprised, like I said, that a full-grown adult cottonmouth already seems to be making his way to the uplands, but very, very nice. That might be the biggest cottonmouth I've ever bike cruised. All right, I've managed to find a sturdy stick and got him back up onto the path, but that's so cool. Really quick, too. I guess I'll strap up the GoPro for the rest of the day, see if we can get a couple of cruises live on camera. You can see this guy's covered in mud. He does have pattern underneath that, but he looks really solid because of all the mud. Got a really good threat display going. He's obviously very warm and very unhappy about me bothering him, but he was initially headed that way, so we're gonna make sure he gets going the direction he wanted to be going before I disturbed him, and we'll continue on. Nice adult cottonmouth. All right, big guy, you wanna continue off towards the uplands where you will spend the next few months? Just a little shuffleboard action with this guy. Scoot, 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 scoot. There's a dead frog right there. They're so funny, I swear. It's really hard to believe that people think these animals will chase you in a way that's actually harmful. I mean, obviously, they will bite, and you don't want to get too close to them. Cool belly on him. But they largely just want to be left alone, like other animals. So we'll do just that. Hopefully he will stay on this side of the path and not try to cross again. Zero idea that there's a 3-foot-long venomous snake right there. There's a big armadillo burrow right there, and this guy is poking around. I don't know what he's doing. He's like trying to, I guess he's got a hole right there he thinks he can get down. He might just be foraging, honestly. You never know. Cottonmouths are weird. I don't know if anybody here follows my Facebook page. You saw the other day, I shared a photo someone sent me of a cottonmouth eating a coach whip. And that's just not something you would expect to happen. Two species that live in very different habitats. You wouldn't expect them to come into contact with each other very often unless the cottonmouths are coming up out of the swamp to forage, which I'm sure they do occasionally. But very interesting. I do have the GoPro on now, so hopefully if we see anything else, I will get it live on camera. This is not a coincidence. This is a migration. Smaller one. Plenty of sticks around this time. All right. Very nice. Cottonmouth number 2. What's up, dude? All right, there's our second cottonmouth in the last 5 minutes, both adults. This one's a small adult, maybe even a sub-adult, not quite fully grown. You see he's got a little bit more pattern showing than the last one. But we are in the pocket. Cottonmouths are moving. We're gonna keep moving, see how many we can find. All right, brother. Let's play cottonmouth shuffleboard. Get scooting. I don't have my little tiny snake hook. I don't know what I've done with it. I'm gonna have to find it. It might even be in my backpack. You can see he's just no real intent to bite, just bluffing, trying to scare me away. And if I was, you know, scared of snakes, it would work. Just I want to make sure he's crawling off that way, or we can at least, there we go. All right, that'll work. Well, after that first full pass where we got 2 cottonmouths and a box turtle, things have pretty much completely died, it seems. Get out of the road. Whoa, I just almost got a squirrel with my bike. What on earth? There's a slimy salamander. My brother in Christ. You and Worm are cut from the same cloth. It could not be drier out here. I mean, we have had a little bit of rain, but it's just dusty. And it you know, everywhere that normally has water is completely dry. Yet here he is. Now, last time we day cruised a slimy salamander when it was dry like this, he was very eager to get off the road. So let's see if this one is too. Go that way. Yeah, keep going. Don't. Oh, he's sliming me. Okay, this is weird. He's almost like tail slapping me with his slimy tail. Don't go under my shoe. You need to get out of the path. You're gonna get run over. All right, I have a theory. We have yet to see a baby cottonmouth because they are all still over there in the swamp looking for food, frogs, fish, whatever they can catch before they start making their way up here for the winter. And I bet in another couple weeks, maybe towards mid or late October, we will see a migration of mostly baby cottonmouths. There's another one. Another kind of small guy. Gotta find a stick before a car comes. I see you. God dang it. Oh, that'll work. All right. This one is practically the exact same size as the last one, but a little bit more colorful, I think. We'll just do the same thing we have been. And scooch. It's funny how they all react the exact same way to being pushed across the road with a stick. Wag their tail, open their mouth, and sit there. You would think if these things were as evil as everybody thinks they are, that would get me chased, but no. Look at that beautiful face on that guy. It's funny how that part stayed relatively well patterned, and then the rest of him kind of got muddy. All right, off he crawls. Up the hill. It's funny, there's this guy that lives here that does some snake relocations, and he was trying to argue with me that they're not migrating for the winter, that they do this every day. However, every single time we find one in the fall, it's going towards the uplands, and every single time we find one in the spring, it's going away from them. I wanted to watch this guy for a second and see where he ends up going, but it seems like he's just kind of sitting there derpily wagging his tail still. Every time I move, he freaks out a little bit. Like that. All right, we'll leave him to it. I really don't understand why this is happening, but there is evidently multiple slimy salamanders just out crawling around right now. It's now evening, so it's not sunny anymore, but it's still just strange. Like, what is this guy up to? All right, everyone, well, that's gonna be it for today. I have somewhere to be this afternoon, so I have to call it here. But it was a fantastic day, good for the soul after a lot of really devastatingly bad outings over the last 3 weeks. I've been telling people this is probably the worst 3-week stretch of fall herping I've ever had, and that's partially blamable on the drought, partially blamable on bad luck, and also partially blamable on me getting too ambitious and trying very difficult things over and over and over again and expecting different results. But it was very nice to take a break from that, actually find some herps today, including some really cool stuff like those hatchling loggerheads and a few cottonmouths. But with that being said, I am going to wrap this one up here, I think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed the baby turtles and little mini cottonmouth migration we had, and I will see you all next time. All right, on my way home after dark, and we have a fresh little baby copperhead. I figured I would include him. He's very small and cute. I wanted to do a comparison video with a baby copperhead and a baby cottonmouth. We did not find any baby cottonmouths today. Kind of weird. You can see that beautiful little sulfur tail. Just let him keep scooting off the road and call it a day. Very, very cool.